The home is the first and most effective place to learn the lessons of life. Truth, honor, virtue, self-control, the value of education, honest work, and the purpose of privilege of life. Good day, Super K-Teens! This is Teacher Ella Rodriguez de Jos from Bacuran National High School, who believes that nothing can take the place of home in rearing and teaching the children. That is why, even though we are in this time of pandemic, we can still achieve learning from home. I'm here to help you, your learning buddy, for this episode. In life, we encounter problems, and we must find the perfect solution. That is why I am very much excited to unfold all the learnings we will have in this episode, because we will talk about conflicts and resolutions in literary selections. This episode was designed to provide you with fun and meaningful opportunities for guided and independent learning at your own pace and time. You will be able to process the contents of the learning resource while being an active learner. So, at the end of this segment, you Super K-Teens are expected to discover the conflicts presented in literary selections and the need to resolve those conflicts in non-violent ways. In literature, a conflict is a literary device characterized by a struggle between two opposing forces. Conflict provides crucial tension in any story and is used to drive the narrative forward. It is often used to reveal a deeper meaning in a narrative while highlighting characters' motivation, value, and weakness. Super K-Teens, conflicts, or what we call problems, may arise anywhere, since people have different points of views in life. Opposing ideas can happen, but it does not have to be always done in a drastic way. Resolutions to conflicts can be done in a more subtle way to avoid violence. To begin with, ready your module, pen and paper, and answer this pretest. Listen to the short story and answer the following questions. Are you ready? Let's start. Once when a lion was asleep, a little mouse began running up and down upon him. This soon awakened the lion, who placed his huge paw upon the mouse and opened his big jaws to swallow him. "Pardon, O king!" cried the little mouse. "Forgive me this time. I shall never forget it, and I may be able to do you a favor in the future." The lion was so taken at the idea of the mouse being able to help him that he let him go. Some time after, the lion was caught in a trap, and the hunters tied him to a tree. Just then, the little mouse happened to pass by, and seeing the side plight of the lion, went up to him and soon gnawed away the ropes that bound the king of the beast. "Was I not right?" said the little mouse. Did you listen to the story very carefully? Let us now assess if you can answer the following questions. 1. Who are the characters in the story? A. Lion and mouse. B. Lion and hunters. C. Hunters and mouse. D. King and lion. Our answer is letter A. 2. Why did the lion want to kill the mouse? A. He was angry. B. He was hungry. C. He wasn't tired anymore. D. The mouse ran over his face. Our answer is letter D. 3. Why did the lion laugh at the mouse? A. He wanted to let him go. B. The mouse was telling funny jokes. C. He knew that the mouse would save his life. D. He didn't think the mouse could ever repay him. Our answer is letter D. 4. How did the mouse repay the lion? A. He scared the hunters out. B. He bought the lion some food. C. He helped the lion out of the trap. D. He entertained the lion with his jokes. The answer, C. 5. What is the moral of the story? A. Be generous. B. Be thankful to everyone. C. Good deeds are rewarded. D. Even a lion can help a mouse. The answer, C. I hope you got a perfect score in that activity. Super K teens, remember that a good story requires conflict and resolution, which are two of its essential components. Conflict is the point in the story when the protagonists run into obstacles. Meanwhile, resolution is the part of the story's plot where the main problem is resolved and worked out. It occurs after the following action and is typically where the story ends. It is also called denouement, which comes from the French term denou, which means to untie. The writer's skills in organizing the story from the beginning till the end allows a story to end without trailing off or leaving the reader confused or unsatisfied. Now, let us try this next activity. Determine whether the following statement uses literal or figurative languages. Write lit if the statement is literal and fig if figurative. Write your answer on your answer sheets. 1. Pampanga is now placed under general community quarantine. Answer, lit. 2. Families of COVID-19 patients are in the sea of grief. Answer, fig. 3. As a teacher, I am absolutely unsure if this school year is safe or not, both for the students and faculty members. Answer, lit. 4. The coronavirus or COVID-19 originated from Wuhan, China. Answer, lit. 5. The swab test for coronavirus is more accurate than the rapid test. Answer, lit. 6. Medical experts have reminded us a million times to practice social distancing and safety health protocols. Answer, fig. 7. COVID-19 victims leave their lives in chains. Answer, fig. 8. Life in the new normal is a mixture of challenges and pains. Answer, lit. 9. Filipinos have learned to adapt to the new way of living. Answer, lit. 10. The Sun greeted the COVID-19 survivors after his 2 weeks of battle against this killer disease. The answer, fig. Super K teens, reviewing literal and figurative will help you a lot in the development of this competency, including the schema or background knowledge which may reinforce learning. Now, let us try if you can complete the following statements by supplying the missing ideas. Write your answers on your answer sheet. In this activity, answers may vary. 1. John has been staying at home for almost a year now due to the pandemic. He wants to become fruitful despite being just at home. So, blank. 2. The modular learning has been quite hard for Liza, who is now on her grade 7. To cope up with the difficulties she experiences, she blank. Looking and thinking about the answers in these questions, what do you usually do when you are faced with conflicts like these? Do you seek outside help? Do you wish to end up in a fight, or you choose to compromise? Try to reflect and think about that. Conflict in a story is a struggle between opposing forces. Characters must act to confront those forces, and there is where conflict is born. If there is nothing to overcome, there is no story. Conflict in a story creates and drives the plot forward. Conflict also adds thrills, excitements, and at the same time, lesson to the story. All conflicts fall into two categories: internal and external. Internal conflict is when a character struggles with their own opposing desires or beliefs. It happens within them, and it drives their development as a character. While external, conflicts that set characters against something or someone beyond their control. External forces stand in the way of the character's motivation and create tension as the character tries to reach their goals. Let me give you a perfect example of the two. Let's start with these pictures. In the first picture, you will observe that the man is having a decision making. Which among the two the man will choose, the good or the bad? In this illustration, no one is involved in the problem, only himself. So, we consider this example an internal conflict. On the other hand, the man is having trouble with others and not to himself. Then, that's a time we can say that this conflict is an external conflict. We have 6 types of literary conflict. 1. Character versus self, or man versus himself. 2. Character versus character, or man versus man. 3. Character versus nature, or man versus nature. 4. Character versus supernatural, or man versus supernatural. 5. Character versus society, or man versus society. 6. Character versus technology, or man versus technology. Let's discuss them one by one. 1. Character versus self. This is an internal conflict, meaning that the opposition the character faces is coming from within. This may entail a struggle to discern what the moral or right choice is, or it may also encompass mental health struggles. Example: a teenager is torn between ditching school with her friends and staying to do the review before the test in a class she is failing. 2. Character versus character. This is a common type of conflict in which characters' needs or wants are at odds with another. Example: a mother and son disagree about what course the son would take in college. 3. Character versus nature. In a nature conflict, a character is set in opposition to nature. This can mean the weather, the wilderness, or a natural disaster. Example, a family is stranded in a big flood. Number 4, character versus supernatural. Pitting characters against phenomena like ghosts, gods, or monsters raises the stakes of a conflict by creating an unequal playing field. Example, Anna feels that there are bad spirits when she is alone. That made her cry and scared. 5. Character versus society. An external conflict that occurs in literature when the protagonist is placed in opposition with society. The government, or a cultural tradition, or a societal norm of some kind, characters may be motivated to take action against their society by a need to survive, a moral sense of right or wrong, or a desire of happiness, freedom, justice, or love. Example, a teenager breaks the health standard protocols by insisting to enter in a shopping mall. 6. Character versus technology. In this type of conflict, the main character resists technological forces. He or she may battle rude robots or hostile computers. Or he or she may just struggle to accept or use the technology of a changing world. Example, a child can stop playing video games long enough to do his homework. Super K teens, now that you know the category and types of conflicts, learning how to handle disputes efficiently is unnecessary. Therefore, one must learn how to be able to find resolution to conflicts in a non-threatening way. I will give you some tips how to do that. The following can be considered in solving conflicts. 1. The capacity to empathize with the other person's viewpoint. 2. Calm, non-defensive, and respectful reactions. 3. A readiness to forgive and forget, and to move past the conflict without holding resentments or anger. 4. The ability to seek compromise and avoid punishing. 5. A belief that facing conflict head-on is the best thing for both sides. Now, let's test if you have gained the knowledge about the difference of conflict and resolution. I will present some story excerpts from the various stories of Philippine literature. Determine whether each statement is a conflict or a resolution. Write your answers on your answer sheet. 1. Aluncina resented this reproach, and they quarreled. In his anger, Tungkong Langit drove his wife away. Answer: conflict. 2. While Prince Bantugan was gone, the evil king plotted against the good prince. Answer: conflict. 3. The sun god shot her daughter Luna in the garden. The sea god imprisoned his son Mar in one of sea caves. Answer: resolution. 4. The father of Maring did not wish to sacrifice more lives after that disaster. He gave her daughter Maring the freedom to choose her husband. Answer: resolution. 5. David suddenly became very interesting to us. He was no longer so strange, although his accent was still rather funny to our ears. Answer: resolution. Now that you already identified which is conflict and resolution, answer the following passages showing conflicts. But by this time, you will provide possible solutions. or resolutions. By the way, answers here may vary. Get ready, here we go. 1. Susie is new student at school. She is nervous to walk into the classroom because she doesn't know anyone. When she walks into the room, Susie notices that there are no seats at the table. She starts to shake and begins to cry. Give the conflict and give suggested resolution. 2. You are eating at a friend's house and the mom piles your plate full of food. It looks really good and you want to eat it, but you cannot because you just ate a snack. Give the conflict and suggested resolution. 3. Kylie is a new student that just moved to your school. You hear her ask another classmate, "Can I sit with you at lunch?" The classmate answers, "No way." Give the conflict and suggested resolution. There we have it. We are done with our first segment. We will have more after this short break. But before that, it's trivia time! What do you call the sounds that require similar vocal tract movements, such as s and sh, are especially tricky as their representations in the brain overlap? These are likely tricky because they require a rapid sequence of overlapping neutral patterns that simply overwhelms the brain. I am very much excited to reveal the answer, so stay tuned and keep learning as I help you to discover more about our topic here at Super K Teleskwela. And we're back! Let us now reveal the answer to our trivia question. Sounds that require similar vocal tract movements, such as s and sh, are especially tricky as their representations in the brain overlap at what we call tongue twisters. Tongue twisters are a great way to practice and improve pronunciation and fluency. They can also help to improve accents by using alliteration, which is the repetition of one sound. Here is an example. Let me try it first. I saw Susie sitting in a shoe shine shop. Where she sits, she shines, and where she shines, she sits. I saw Susie sitting in the shoe shine shop. Where she sits, she shines, and where she shines, she sits. Now, your turn. Tongue twisters aren't just for kids, but also used by actors, politicians, and public speakers, or even me, your learning buddy, who wants to sound clear when speaking. I hope you enjoyed and learned from that as much as I did. Now, to continue, here are situations showing conflicts with corresponding resolutions. Choose the better way to solve the conflict by writing the letter of your choice on your answer sheet. Are you ready? Let's start. 1. Your area is getting flooded due to heavy rains. The water is getting higher. A. You decided to stay because you have been living there for 20 years. B. You choose to evacuate and not risk the life of your family. The answer? B. 2. Your classmate sent you a message and told you to have him copy your answers in your module. A. You know it's not right to copy, so you send him harsh response saying he is a cheater and dumb. B. You know it's not right to copy, and so you try to guide him on what to do so he can answer the module and learn from his own. Answer B. 3. Your brother was picked up by the barangay officials for some questions about his staying out beyond curfew hours. A. Your father went to the barangay hall and accompanied your brother to find out what happened and tried to cooperate with the officials about the consequence of your brother's act. B. Your father went to the barangay hall and told the officials how inconsiderate they were for picking up your brother. The answer, A. 4. You can hardly sleep because your neighbor's dog kept barking at night. A. Talk to your neighbor about your sleepless nights due to their dog's barking so they can do something about it. B. Throw stones at the dog so it would stop barking. Answer A. 5. Your parents were expecting that you will get a high score in your English exam because they knew you studied well. Unfortunately, what happened was far from their expectation. A. You tell your parents that you got a low score in the exam and promise to make up next time. B. You will keep the truth so they won't be disappointed. Answer A. Now, for our next activity, listen as we read the following situations showing conflicts with corresponding resolutions. Then, complete the chart. Don't worry because you have an ample time to answer and reflect about your answers at home. 1. Basketball practice blues. Jepoy and Jeffrey took turns at the hoop practicing their free throws. Usually, Jepoy sunk his free throw shots with no trouble, but something was off today. He had not made a single shot. Jeffrey was on fire though. He made every single free throw shot from the line. Coach Michael noticed and came to talk to Jepoy. If you adjust your feet, he said, your shot will go straight. To Jepoy's surprise, he made the rest of his free throws. 2. Report card time. Trisha knew she had earned some good grades and some bad grades. Even though Mackie knew her parents would be disappointed, she always followed the rules. She would give them the report card when she got home. When she arrived home, she realized that the report card was not in her binder when she got off the bus. She must have lost it somewhere. Instead of panicking, she made a plan. Trisha decided to talk to her teacher about it the next day. Her teacher thanked her for being responsible. She printed Mackie a new report card to take home. The teacher even put it in a special envelope. 3. The math test. On Monday, June's teacher announced that there would be a math test later in the week. June wasn't worried. He was great at math. After school, he played video games instead of studying. However, when the teacher handed out the test on Friday, June realized that he didn't know anything about geometry. After school, he asked his teacher for some extra math worksheets. He knew that if he practiced, he would be prepared for the next test. Now, Super K-teens, do you still remember the 6 types of conflicts? Because here in our next activity, you will identify the type of conflict by choosing the correct answer from the box. Let's begin. 1. She struggled searching for air, for land, for something to hold on to, but there was only the water pulling her into depth. Answer: C. 2. It can't rain. If it's rainy, my hair gets puffy and droopy. Answer: C. 3. I stared at the newspaper. On the front page of the second section was the headline, "Juvenile Delinquents Turned Heroes." Answer: D. 4. I was sitting there, smoking, when Jerry came back in from making a phone call. He stared at me for a second. You shouldn't be smoking. Answer: B. 5. Justine is a human being, a beautiful, smart, fiery woman. And I don't care what my father says. Answer: B. 6. No, I'm not stupid. But then again, maybe I am. I can't believe I have fallen head over heels in love with Julio. Answer: A. 7. And tonight, people get hurt in rumbles, maybe killed. I'm sick of it because it doesn't do any good. You can't win. You know that, don't you? Answer: D. 8. I had a nightmare the night of Mom and Dad's funeral. I'd had nightmares and wild dreams every once in a while when I was little, but nothing like this one. Answer: A. 9. When Diego and his buddies accepted a dare to stay in an old abandoned house, they knew that it would be scary. But they had no idea just how scary it would be. As his friends began disappearing one by one, Diego learns that the house is not abandoned at all, but inhabited by a vampire. Diego no longer cares about spending the night in the house. All he cares about now is getting out alive. Will he escape or be a vampire's lunch? Answer: E. 10. It's the year 3030, and the society is completely dependent on computers and robots. A young boy named Domino is flying his hovering board to school when all the machines start attacking people due to a powerful computer virus. Domino doesn't know that the machines that are supposed to help him have turned against him. Answer: F. Super K-teens, you may practice your reading skills by reading the story A Show for Anita. This is on pages 11 and 12 of your module, and the Parable of the Rainbow Colors on pages 13 and 14, which are both good stories, and answer the following questions. And now for our last and final activity, to measure if you gain mastery of our topic regarding conflicts and resolution. Draw a happy face if the sentence gives an idea of finding solution to the problem or conflict in a non-violent way. Draw a sad face if it does not. Note that you can also write a brief resolution to a non-threatening way. 1. Your grandfather goes out without a face mask. You know that your municipality has started an ordinance that if anyone is caught, he might be fined. So you decided to explain to him the consequence if he is caught without a mask and that your concern is his safety and health. Our answer: smiling face. 2. Jerry was doing his English module activity when he heard his two brothers quarreling as to who is better player between them, on a famous mobile game. He got irritated, and so he shouted at them, got the mobile unit, and threw it out of the window. Answer: sad face. 3. Because of the pandemic, you and your best friend agreed to drive through a fast food chain instead of having a dine-in. He likes the chicken at Mac Jolly, but you prefer Donald B instead. You found out that it will take a longer time to order at Mac Jolly. Both you decided to patiently wait for each other's order so you can enjoy your lunch together. Answer: smiley face. 4. Ben got his friend's toy and kept it with him. His father was sudden when he had learned about it. The father spoke to Ben and decided that Ben should return the toy and admit to his friend he has taken the toy with him, with the promise that Ben will not do it again. Answer: smiley face. 5. Manong Lino loves the noontime show It Showtime. His wife, though, likes It's Bulaga. Both of the shows are aired at 12 noon. Manong Lino hurriedly got the television remote control. His wife, disappointed of what he did, went out of the room, tapping her feet, and banged the door. Answer: sad face. For your additional activity, you may share a conflict that you have experienced and how did you resolve it in a non-violent way. There you go, Super K-Teens! We are done with our learning journey for this episode. Just remember, conflict and resolution are essential components to a short, fictional story. And in reality, we encounter several problems in life. And our task is to find the perfect solution to that problem. As people always say, there is always a solution to every problem. I hope you learned in our episode for today. Again, this is Teacher Ella de Dios, your learning buddy from Bekuren National High School. See you again in our next episode, only here at Super K Teleskwela.